Hi everyone and welcome to the Luthier's Journal episode 2. My name is Max, I'm a guitar maker and I'm here to talk about guitar playing, guitar making, and to help you grow through your instrument. Today we answer one of our listeners' question. It's a great one, let's dive into it. So they asked, how can I reconnect with my passion? I stopped playing out of necessity. My job required full sensitivity in my fingertips. Stopping was like going through a grieving process. But now I have the chance to start again. However, when I pick up my beloved but neglected guitar, I no longer feel the same pleasure I once did. All I feel is nostalgia for the abilities I've lost, especially my finger picking skills, which I loved the most. How do I restart? Despite everything, its sound and vibration are still good, but it just doesn't feel the same. What is the first step to reconnect with my guitar? Well, first of all, that's a great question, and there is a lot to unpack. So, most of guitar teachers I see online would suggest something like, you just need to start. You won't have motivation before doing it, you just need to do it, and then motivation will come. Although that's true, the answer is incomplete to me. There's something that matters a lot in that situation, and it's the inner dialogue you have with yourself. Let's think about the gym analogy. Before lifting weights, you need to get to the gym. And this is a difficult part of the job. So how do you talk to yourself matters a lot. Today, I would like to figure out how to clear the way in order to get you to pick up the guitar again. So first of all, there's a ton of things we say to ourselves. The list is exhaustive and I'll just get a brief few examples. It's too late. I'm too old to play guitar. I missed the train. My fingers don't work anymore. I don't know where to start. There's so much information on YouTube. I just rather give up. We don't say we want to give up, but it's what we end up doing. Others are more talented than me. You compare yourself to others and it just kills your passion for it. You tried already and you failed. This feels very hard. The fear of judgment, the idea that you are not a musical person, or maybe that you don't deserve to put so much time in your schedule for yourself and you should invest it to help others. These are all very common thoughts we have, but the two most important ones, the two that we see the most, are the most devastating, and those are the ones that I have to address here to answer the question that the listener asks. At the end, I will give you 2 bonus tips that will help a lot on top of everything that I have to answer to that question. So the first negative thought that has to be dealt with is, I'll never be good enough. Perfectionism is something a lot of us struggle with, myself included. And what happens with perfectionism is we have standards that are so high that we end up never moving forward, and we feel anxious and we get stuck in our own way. And what's happening is you don't move forward. So there's a quote by this guy that I like a lot, Guillaume Duluth, if you have heard of him. He has a rule to help reduce negative self-talk, which I applied a lot in my life, and it's movement before perfectionism. So perfectionism is having standards that are too high, and what we don't see when we focus too much on the high expectations is that we are stuck and we're not moving. So if our goal is to be perfect, it's really hard to get anything going. But if your goal is to be moving towards something, well, you get a chance to do something right. And if you just make one little step forward towards what you want to accomplish, at the end of the day, this is a good day. So you got to take it one step at the time. You got to see every little step towards igniting your passion again as a victory. And another thing is, it needs to be custom to your situation. So advice we see on the internet can be really good advice, but if it's not adapted to your situation, it won't help. So you need to figure out what is the exact thing that is making you not moving forward. If it's perfectionism, you want to look into staying active forward and to do one step at the time. So the first thing is movement before perfectionism. The second one is, people say, I don't have time or energy. Listen, I've been there and I still am from time to time. But if you wait at the end of the day to have the energy to pick up the guitar, it might never happen. If you don't have space in your routine, or let's just say in a week, for guitar, it won't appear by itself on your lap. And one of the thing I suggest in that situation is to put it in the agenda, to write it down and to figure out what is the lowest value activities you could reduce. Is there a 30 minutes you can spend less time doom scrolling and pick up the guitar instead? If you look at a week that you have, I think you can probably find 2 or maybe 3 half an hour of, maybe you listen to, there is one episode of something on Netflix that you don't watch, or 2, and then you have made some room in your calendar to play guitar. And yeah, so this is something that I really believe in. You gotta make a plan. It's not the motivation feeling that will suddenly come out and push you towards the guitar. So having a plan is a big improvement over just trying to feel it. So that's the second tip I have to say. And oh god, my notes are all okay. Anyway, there's something I want to address, is the idea of nostalgia that the listener mentioned in her question. And nostalgia is something that the brain does to help to process the emotions. And I think nostalgia can be reframed. It can be seen as something that we lost and that we're not able to do anymore. But if we reframe it to see it as a symbol of growth and opportunities, well, then the nostalgia aspect of it can be used as a fuel to push you forward instead of cripple you with anxiety and sadness. So that was something I wanted to mention about nostalgia. So now that I said all that, I got 2 bonus recommendations. The first one, if you want to learn to play guitar and you want to put all the chances on your side to get it right, you need to get a real teacher. There's a ton of apps, of tutorials you can find, and these are all great. But to me, nothing compares to have a relationship with someone. So you need a connection with a teacher you enjoy spending time with and with who you trust. This has a huge impact on your progression. The second bonus tip, I think you can see me coming since I'm a guitar maker. Well, you need to get a decent guitar. And what I mean is not about the quality of the instrument per se, but about the quality of playability, the ease of play. If you get a cheap guitar, it will obviously be a discouraging experience. I see from time to time in my practice, I repair guitars for teenagers that are starting to learn, and if the parents that comes to me with the instrument is not a musician, they often don't see why it makes a difference, and it can be seen as a luxury to have a properly set up guitar. It's far from it. If you don't have a guitar set up in a decent fashion, I can bet all the money I have in the world that you might end up giving up guitar. So a good setup gives you a higher chance of sticking with it. So that's it. That was the second bonus tip. So the conclusion is you need to design a journey that feels exciting to learn guitar again instead of feeling overwhelmed by impossible standard. Movement before perfectionism. You need to take one small step at a time. You need to clear space in your calendar to make room for that passion that you want to ignite again. You need to reframe your self-talk. And you need to get the right instrument and the right person to guide you in that journey. I like to see guitar, well, the learning process of guitar as exploring and improving your relationship to this interest that you have instead of trying to become good at guitar. And if your guitar doesn't feel right and you need a luthier to take care of it, that's what I do, and I'm here to help. So thank you very much for listening. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And if you know somebody who might benefit from it, please share it with that person. It's the word of mouth that helps this channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.